Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope everyone's had a fantastic, what is it even today? Tuesday. Everyone's had a fantastic Tuesday, the 5th of August. 5th of August. We are here. Arsenal are not here. Let's just put it that way. Arsenal, of course. Tomorrow, Emirates Cup kicks off. Of course. We'll see how that's gonna go. Arsenal play Villarreal at 6 p.m. UK time, which is very nice. It's at 8 p.m. my time, so I can watch the game and go live straight after, which is really nice. 8 p.m. It finishes around 10 p.m. my time, which is the normal time I usually go live, which is quite fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, the big question still remains: is Andrea Berta cooking? Because no outgoings, no nothing as of yet. Some players are in, some backups, you would argue. There are two starting players in, so we'll see how that goes. Madueke is still the enigma that people still believe he's gonna sit on the backsides, and he's not gonna start. So that is an interesting one. Now, first things first, I need to say. Now, this will be a shorter stream. It will be about 25-30 minutes. It's not gonna be the usual hour and 10 or something like that, because, well, as I said, some issue. The son's not feeling too well, so kind of orchestrated a smaller stream because I wanted just to go live and talk about Arsenal. Otherwise, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I cannot be too long because I need to take care of family, of course, and always family comes first. Big up Mike, as he's saying, family always comes first, and it does. I just organized a few minutes so I can just go live. Big up Eros, Arteta time. Yeah, tomorrow 6 p.m. UK, it is Arteta time. Big up AJ, hope you're doing well. Like the stream, people, as we are saying. Subscribe if you're new around here. Big up, 837 subscribers. You have been on a mad one regarding that. Thank you so much for it. And I hope so too. Like, it's nothing serious, but like telling a young kid basically that it's gonna pass, it's very hard. Let's just put it that way. So it is what it is in those terms. But we're not gonna drag this too long because, as I said, I'm on a limited time today. So what we're going to talk about, it's going to be very quick, and we're going to not discuss it too much, but we're going to discuss it. Let's be real. We're definitely going to discuss it. Now, first things first, what we're going to talk about is this. Jakob Kior, because Jakob Kior, ironically enough, has been the one that we have that has been talked about in Arsenal's fan base the most, ironically enough, because he's been the one that's been linked with Arsenal, leaving Arsenal the most for some weird reason, ironically enough. So yeah, big up Eros, Mikel music in the building, and all this stuff. But yeah, Jakob Kior enjoys life at Arsenal. Sounds very interesting, I'm not gonna lie. But he's interested in exploring opportunities to join clubs that would be regarded as the fourth choice. Obviously, that is understandable, especially since he replaced Gabriel last season, and he actually had some very decent run. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, he got caught out a few times. Unfortunately, most of those times we consider a goal, but it is what it is. But obviously, as soon as player kind of tastes the starting role, more minutes, and he gets into that gear, he wants more. Obviously, the more you eat, the more you want to eat. Let's be real. So with Kivior, it's very, very, very understandable. The big thing is, though, Arsenal don't want to sell him. That is the big thing. Arsenal do not want to sell Jakob Kivior this summer, given that how good he was in the last season. Now, obviously, it's a mix and match. It's a very rough situation on those terms. Let's be real, because there's a chance we could get a pretty penny for him. At the same time, he actually is a solid backup. I'm not gonna lie, he actually is a solid backup for Gabriel, the number 2. The issue is, as I said, he wants starting time, and that is obviously the biggest issue at the end of the day. So I guess it is what it is. Arsenal will have to take one under the chin on those terms if he actually wants to leave himself. But so far, it's looking very good. Obviously, Calafiori can play left center back. He can play left back, but I don't trust that. I genuinely don't trust him being a left back and left center back. We haven't seen enough to actually make some long-term conclusions regarding that. Plus, his injury history, of course, is the biggest issue. So for me personally, yeah, I agree, AJ. At this stage, after end part of last season, I totally agree with this statement. Keep Kivior and sell the Italian Tommy. I totally agree with that. The thing is, though, Kivior is only on £80,000 a week. I guess I say only 80 because compared to Calafiori, who is on 120, it is a 40 grand difference. And for Italian teams, even if he wants to go back to Italy, it's a big difference. Let's be real. It makes a big difference if it's just a week, 52 weeks, that's over 2 million. So it is a big issue on those terms, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Obviously, at the moment, Kivior carries more value than Calafiori. I'm not gonna lie. At the same time, he has been more trustworthy. Let's just put it that way in terms of Arsenal. So Jakob Kivior's situation remains up in the air. Let's just put it that way. It remains up in the air. Nobody knows what's going to happen with Jakob Kivior, but obviously it is nothing great. It genuinely is nothing great, because if we actually decide to sell him, it could be pick'ems for Arsenal. I genuinely believe so, because out of all the backups Arsenal have as a club specifically, you could say that he is the most trustworthy one. Let's just put it that way. But hey, I guess it is what it is. Moving on to left-wing situation, because that has been one of the hot topics in the Arsenal's fan base, and it's surrounding Arsenal throughout the whole window, especially after signing Noni Madueke, who I still believe is going to be the starting left-winger for Arsenal coming next season. If Arsenal are to make a significant addition to the first team squad, it is most likely is gonna be a left wing, which comes to no surprise to anyone. Let's be real. At the same time, it also is being talked about in the same realms of rumors that only we are signing a left wing if we can get rid of one of the left wings, which in i.e. this instance means Trossard or Martinelli. Yesterday we looked at some stats. Yes, we looked at some stats. And it was pretty much straightforward regarding Martinelli and Trossard, because Trossard, as a starter, has better point per game ratio than Martinelli, and as a sub, he has much better point per game ratio compared to Martinelli, which is quite interesting if you ask me, because Martinelli has been one of the big talking points this summer, especially after last season, the fact that we need to get rid of him. Obviously, he's on 180 grand a week, which makes a very tough sale. I'm not gonna lie, unless Saudis want to come in and offer him about 250 or something like that. It's very hard to imagine any club coming in for him unless he accepts a salary pay cut, which Arsenal obviously have put themselves in massive issues right now. They have put themselves in massive issues regarding the salaries and contracts, because it's not gonna be easy. It's not going to be easy to sell anyone in terms of that, because where is it? Here it is. These are the two things I wanted to, because it gets connected with these very, very nicely. Arsenal, right, are a club that in Premier League with the highest spenders on a net basis, currently committing around 200 million in fees, while only recouping a small sums of Nuno Tavares and Marquinhos, because we let go of Marquinhos for about 3 million. So that was the same amount as we basically purchased him. And we already sold Nuno Tavares last season when it was loaned with obligation to buy to Lazio, ironically enough. We sold him for 8 million, which is very small amount. That's pretty much the same amount we bought him for from Benfica at the time. The issue about this is, though, he had such a good season at Lazio that after they signed him, AC Milan came in for him with a 40 million offer. 40 million offer for him. And Lazio turned it down, which is very insane. Because if you look at from Arsenal's point of view, if he had that season at Lazio and we managed to keep him, we could have made a very nice profit, around 25 million for him. Because let's be real, if he comes back to Arsenal and AC Milan offers 40 million, Arsenal are going to take it with just sign the papers, peace out. They don't care about the clauses or anything. Let's be real. And that for Arsenal would be would be a record sale. That is how nuts it is. So Arsenal are the ones that have spent the most. And it gets worse. Let's be real and don't kid yourselves. It gets worse. Because look at this. We just read that Arsenal are the highest spenders with 200 million with no money coming in. Now look at this. Chelsea have agreed a profit of around 200 million from player sales this window, which is more than any Premier League side. And they are still expected to recoup 100 to 150 million even on top of that. So there's a possibility that by end of this window, Chelsea will have made 300 to 350 million from sales. Arsenal cannot make 300 million from sales in 10 years. In 10 years, in a decade. Chelsea are doing this in one goddamn window. And let's not forget this as well. We gave Chelsea 57 of those 200 million by signing Kepa and by signing Madueke. Like, we are the main sponsors of Chelsea FC at the moment. That's how nuts it is. 57 million from Arsenal, which means that at the moment we have sponsored nearly a quarter of their profits this summer window specifically. Nearly a quarter. And those are our so-called rivals, by the way. Like, that for me doesn't compute. You don't see United and City doing business, Liverpool and United doing business, Real Madrid, Barcelona doing business. You don't see that often anymore Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund doing business, Inter Milan and Juventus doing business. Yet Arsenal and Chelsea, hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, brother, let's do this and let's do that. And they just interchange like it's just absolutely insane. Big up Pepper, hope you're doing well. Arsenal more like Farsenal. Yeah, 100%. We gave Chelsea some of that money. Yeah, quarter nearly. 25% almost. Like 23 or 22% of that money we have given Chelsea. But the nuts part is that they are expected to make about 100 to 150 million more. On top of that, people. On top of that. How insane is that? 300 to 350 million in one window. That is absolutely nuts, to say the least, if you ask me. Big up Adjeri. Good luck with Sesko. Let's see if he goes to Liverpool. Big up Marlon. Hope you're doing well. Like the stream and subscribe, people, if you haven't already. And as I said, this one is going to be a shorter stream. I will be alive for about 10 to 15 minutes more because my kid is not feeling well and I need to take care of him. I just scheduled a window where I can take arguably some minutes to basically just talk about Arsenal and everything. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, some positive news. Some positive news regarding Arsenal. Apparently, Gabriel Magalhaes is back in full training, which is some fantastic news if you are an Arsenal fan. Because that was one of the biggest worries. Will he start the season? Will he not start the season? Obviously, tomorrow we play against Villarreal in Emirates Cup. Whether he's going to start, I don't think so. Will he be on the bench? Most likely. Let's be real. I still believe Kivior is going to start. Maybe against Bilbao on Saturday, he is going to start. So we'll see how that goes. But it's very nice to see because Gabriel is back in training. Timber is back in training apparently as well. So kind of it's looking nice. It's looking good. It's looking better than we actually, to some extent, envisioned. Let's just put it that way. Here the Top Gooners now are building shirt sales to get money. Some Top Gooners calling for unity before the season. Oh, boy. How about unity of getting this manager out? How about that? Big Up is back. Yeah, he is back. Big Up Dio. Robo out there doing a stream while his kid is, you can forget about us if that's the case, bro. Kid is singing to the people, not even. I get it, but obviously, like, when you have a missus as nice as I have, like, she actually encouraged me to do it. Like, I was about to cancel it. She said, just make a small video or go live for about 20 to 30 minutes, and that's about it. It won't be the usual 1 hour to 20 minute stream. It won't be the usual. Obviously, tomorrow after the game, fair play, 1 hour 15 minute full stream. We're going to talk about the Villarreal game. I'm going to go live straight after the game. But for today, you have to deal with me on a short notice. They never want to address the Arteta problem. Never. They will do everything in their power to guide the conversation away from that. Or they will ask you a question where they already, in their minds, have figured out an answer to argue with instantly before they even have heard your answer. And they have also a cop-out in case the debate goes wrong. They have already figured all that out. Arteta, the only problem in the club. That's like, if you look at it that way, that is the case. Because if you look at Arsenal over the last 3-4 years, there is only one constant that hasn't changed, and that is Mikel Arteta. Rest of the stuff has changed. New players, sporting director right now at least. and players rotating and everything. That has all changed. For the last 2.5 years, the system hasn't even changed. And obviously, the common predominator and all this, of course, is super duper Mick Arteta. Who else? Not allowed to talk about Arteta. Got to talk about the players, the board, Edu, Salehi, and anyone else. That's irrelevant to the end result. Exactly. They talk about everyone. Obviously, players have to take some fault on themselves as well because they don't go against the manager, right? At the same time, everyone's at fault besides the manager. Because if we lose, it's the player's fault. If we win, Arteta is a genius. Because if we win, players, no. Players, yeah, they had a great game, best things in slides, and all this stuff. But manager gets all the praise. When everything goes down the shitter during games, it's all on players. Oh, he had a bad game, this had a bad game, that had a bad game. A manager, no. Arteta was winning on XG. He had more possession. He coached a victory. One of the dumbest statements I have heard in my life. If he coached a victory, maybe we would have won it then. Wouldn't we? They scared to admit they messed up by bringing him in. They didn't want to make the blame for bringing. Exactly. Same goes for Arteta and Havertz. Arteta is not gonna want to admit that he screwed up with him. Hence why he's gonna try and shoehorn him into the team. And don't be surprised if tomorrow somehow Havertz starts on left wing or in the 8, or even Havertz starts at striker and Gyökeres gets sub only minutes. Don't be surprised if that happens, because that would be the ultimate disrespect. Emery will get blamed for playing Saka when he was 16 eventually, dude. Like, that is insane. All the people screaming, oh, play Dowman, play Vanyetti, and everything. Oh, but Emery played Saka when he was 16. What does he know? And it's always like that. Double standards. Hypocrites. For him ruining us these past few years, they don't blame them. Exactly. Look what he's done. I can't blame Havertz anymore. I'm wondering how Arteta still trusts his job with this player. Exactly. That is the biggest thing. You cannot even blame Havertz anymore because he gets played in that position. He tries to the best of his abilities. Yes, he has a shit game. Yes, we're going to call it out. Yes, we're going to discuss it. But ultimately, it's the manager because he has picked him to play there. Let's be real. Don't blame you, Eros. Don't blame you. You can't blame him. He didn't ask to play strike. Exactly. You didn't. He didn't. Just like Zinchenko didn't ask to play left back. But he has been played there. But ultimately, since he plays there, he is subject to judgment. He is subject to criticism. And we have to judge him as a left back. But when he plays in midfield, have you noticed that nobody complains when Zinchenko plays in midfield? Everyone's happy-chappy because he actually does a good job there. As soon as he hits left back spot, everyone's pissed off. It's not a coincidence, is it? But he doesn't even know where in midfield Havertz plays. Like, that is the big thing. I always think like this, and always have said this. Havertz is a player that can play multiple roles to decent level. But he doesn't excel at a specific role. We don't see the same Havertz we saw at Bayer Leverkusen about 7 years ago, right? So Havertz can play multiple positions on a decent level, but he doesn't excel at a specific position. He's not a specialist like Gyökeres at striker, Gabriel at center back, Raya in goal. Okay, bad example, but we go with the flow and stuff like that, obviously. He was the worst. Not at all time, definitely. That's the biggest thing. Arteta is not a bad manager, right? He actually is a very decent manager. Let's be real. The thing is, though, he is not the manager for Arsenal where Arsenal want to be at the moment and should be, in my opinion. That's my opinion. The manager should be winning trophies, should be winning Premier League, should be winning FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and all these things. But Arteta is not the guy to do it with. He's not a bad manager. He has done decently to get us in top 4. Credit where credit is due. But ultimately, he's not a bad manager. But at the end of the day, he is not good enough. He is not him. He is our Brendan Rodgers, the nearly man, before we get the proper manager in, when we get our Jurgen Klopp. Will we get our Jurgen Klopp? That is the question of the century. Let's be real. That is the question of the century. Because he's fluid, that's the position. He always cooks there. You watch Ukraine, you see. Exactly, because Mykolenko plays left back. There's no need for Zinchenko as a left back. He's not qualified to manage. Well, cannot say that as well. Arteta is the problem destroyed. He is a big problem. Big up Welsh. Big up Chris Welsh. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. He needs to go to third division. Exactly. He needs to go to a smaller team and learn his craft. Let's be real. Arne Slot has been the main manager, the head manager, like you get what I mean, the main manager for only 5 months longer than Mikel Arteta. Only. Yet he has won Eredivisie, Dutch Cup, and Premier League, right? At the same time, if you look at the resumes, before that, Arteta was Coneman. When you look at Slot, he has coached youth level. He has coached smaller teams. He has learned his craft at the end of the day. And how this Mikel Arteta guy somehow has been coached by Pep, Wenger, has played under Wenger, has played under Moyes, has played with some of the best players in the world, let's be real, like Ronaldinho and players like that. Yet he screws up the midfield and has no awareness whatsoever. Airpod Albert is more qualified. Big up Pepper. He has better resume than Mikel Arteta, ironically enough. Believe it or not. If you go check out resumes, Airpod Albert has better resume than Mikel Arteta. Arteta is not a bad manager. He's a decent manager. Is the nice words you will ever hear Mr. Robo say about Arteta? Most likely, yes. Most likely, yes. Havertz can play multiple positions at decent levels. The highest VBK, man. VBK. You watch yourself, right? You watch yourself. But yeah, could also be the nicest thing. To be honest, it's not the nicest thing I have said about Havertz. It genuinely is not. That is one of the best things I have said in recent times about Havertz, but overall, it's not the nicest thing, 100%. If we could loan out Arteta, things would be perfect. Well, if we could get him out, that would be perfect. Not loan him out, because if we loan him out, he comes back. That doesn't help anyone. Let's be real. Yarpod Albert, yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none. Exactly. Which game did Yarpod Albert manage while Arteta was touchline banned? We're in Manson. That was at City at home, wasn't it? City at home when we lost 2-1 or something like that. Wasn't it against City? It was City game at Emirates. That was that game. Either we lost 2-1 to a late goal, or it was a draw, something like that. I already am losing my mind talking about that. Not the coach you bring, you dominate. Exactly. He's not the one. Man City game. Yeah, New Year's Day 2022, Man City at Emirates. Exactly. Yeah. Yep, Airport Albert had one game. He will look better. And if you actually didn't know this, by the way, Mikel Arteta has managed one game at Man City because Pep's mother passed away, right? That was a Champions League game against Lyon at home. Quarterfinals or round of 8 or round before or something like that, right? They lost at home. They lost at Etihad. And that was the first loss Man City had suffered in Champions League at home in the last 4 seasons or something like that. And that was the game where Mikel Arteta was the manager. Says it all, doesn't it? Says it genuinely all. Here, by the way, subscribe to BBK Sports. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Go subscribe to BBK Sports. Big up Hyper Protagonist. Hope you're doing well. Lyon and they lost. Exactly. Lyon and they lost. That is the big thing. Okay. One of the last piece of news for today before I go off, because as I said, my kid is not feeling well and I need to be there for him. Apparently, Inter are raising the Lukeman bid because Inter have been linked with Lukeman for a while now, and they offered Atalanta some money, and luckily they turned it down, I guess, because nothing escalated after that. Let's just put it that way, because Atalanta preferred to sell abroad. A week passed, and Lukeman has handed in transfer request. And the question is, why Arsenal are not offering 45 million pounds for Lukeman then? Why we are not going in for him? Since we want the left winger, why not put him in? Why not try and take a punt on him? I guess if it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. That is the case. But hey, it's a bit different story, right? Arteta broke wrong record in his management. Yeah, 100%. Big up Martin. Big up Darren. Hope you're doing well. Big up Tops. Big up Tops. Smash the likes, people, and subscribe. Big up Tops. And go subscribe to Tops as well. Top guy, Arsenal fan, and everything. Like, streams multiple times a day as well, unlike me who streams only once a day. But hey. But yeah, go subscribe to Tops. Show him some love as well. Why don't we splash that 50 mil on him and get it done? Exactly. £52 million for Madueke or £45 million for Lukeman. Which one you're picking? Probably you're picking Lukeman. Arsenal will get Bookman from Good Times instead. And sell Vieira, Nelson, injured. Yeah, just sell everyone. Sell everyone. Yeah. Here's his Tops' link. Go subscribe, show Top some love as well, people. Go show Top some love as well. I guess I lied a bit. There will be one more thing we're going to talk about before I go off. I have about 5 minutes. So we're going to talk about this. Raul de Thomas. Now, if you don't watch La Liga, you probably don't know who he is. And you probably don't know that he's from Real Madrid Academy and all this stuff, right? But here it is. Raul de Thomas has spoken about football these days. And here is what he had to say. Football has become very robotic. I don't want 11 guys who do thousands of miles of running, but are unable to filter a pass or put an assist to a player. I don't feel identified with the style of play that there is today in European football. Maybe I haven't been able to adapt to this football that fans validate. That they idolize a player who scores 6 goals, Martinelli, before they have scored 18 or 20. This is also for Sesko. Sesko has scored 13 goals, 14. Okay, cool, but same goes with this. The fan has been satisfied with seeing his team run and get results. I want to see differential guy like Lamine Yamal or Vinicius. The other team should be like that. But today's coaches restrict that type of a player a lot. Seriously. Speaking nothing but facts. Big up Raul de Thomas, by the way. Big up to him, because this is utter facts. Players like Yamal, Vinicius, if we look at Arsenal, Saka, for example, Martinelli, they all have been restricted. They all are robotic. And the managers like Hansi Flick and managers like that who allow their players, their best players, the technically gifted players to have their freedom, have their say on the pitch, show themselves on the pitch, succeed most of the time. Shocking, isn't it, what happens when you go away from robotic football? But hey, what do we know? We are just coach fans, right? Football has better athletes, but fewer players. Exactly. These days, footballers are more athletes than actual players. Because many times you see a guy, 6'2", strong build, has no first touch, but can run really fast in a straight line. Instantly. 50 million, 150 grand a week. Instantly. And when you see players like Yamal, like Vinicius, and players like that, oh my God, how can someone be this good? Well, that is also the manager's fault, because most of the players who actually are this good, like Yamal, Vinicius, they have potential. Not this good, but they have potential to be that good to some extent. They instantly, in the academies, instantly have their roots instantly chopped off in under 10s and under 11s, and they say, no. You cannot do a step over. You need to pass it backwards and recycle the ball. Hold the possession guys, only control guys, and all this stuff. I don't analyze Sesko. There are people who do. Fact, it all comes for the fans. Exactly. If fans revolted and said we don't want to watch it, imagine empty stadiums. Big up to you. They would stop this maybe. And JJ Okocha as well, of course. Big up Mubarak. Spurs made an offer. Oh, bloody. No idea. Genuinely no idea if Spurs have made a bid for Rodrigo, but I have seen Spurs being linked with Rodrigo. If they get Rodrigo, oh my days. And school wrestling with injuries, yeah, it's insane. It genuinely is insane. But Raul de Thomas, in this article, in this tweet and this interview, spoke nothing but facts. Because these days, football is such a robotic sport, it's actually embarrassing to watch. It's boring to watch. It's mind-numbing to watch. You feel like you lose IQ points, basically. It's more interesting, actually, to balance your checkbook and do taxes than actually watching some football games half the time. Big up, coach. Hope you're doing well. I'm good. I will crash out as well if that happens. All the players had their roots cut. We are watching. We are watching robotic football. If someone clips this and puts a song behind it or something like that, I'm gonna find you. I swear to God, I'm gonna find you. Anyways, but yeah. Anyway, it's quite insane. It's quite insane. There are more skills in my Football Manager games than when it turns to telly to watch. Yeah, seriously, I literally sometimes play Football Manager on my phone. Like what's it called? Do I still have it on my phone? No, I don't. No, I don't. It's called Football something. Football something, right? And you see more skills in a 1D game than you see there. Can't wait for the league. Just bought a new TV. Can't wait for it. Good luck. Good luck with that. Just don't watch Premier League though. Well, most of the games. Watch some proper football in different leagues. I read books while football is in the background. To be honest, same. Sometimes I just watch the game. Let's just say I have internet open. I'm on Chrome or whatever, or at work I'm on Firefox and everything. Game on one tab, and then I have 6 different tabs, and I just click through those 5 tabs and randomly just glance in the game because there's nothing going on. It's the same recycling, passing in the same direction all the time. Football, online soccer manager. Yeah. I admit I barely watch and watch different leagues. Watch La Liga 2, Eredivisie, and Bundesliga. They are more interesting. Only focus when it's Arsenal. Yeah, you can build a team up for nothing and make it big. Exactly. Skills have been, they have been absolutely removed from the game. Big up Camden. You can coach every team. Yeah, it's insane. It genuinely is insane. I think it's called Football Manager 2025. It's like sponsored by Jose Mourinho and Xabi Alonso. It's something like that. I played that game. That's quite fun on phone when you have nothing to do. You can build your team out of nothing. You can sign players. You have tasks. You have challenges. You can build your own stadium, medicals, training center, car park, even catering for the fans and everything. You can do it all. It takes days and time and everything. You can play against different teams, different tactics, styles, formations, and everything. You have your own academy where you can train your players. It's more advanced than anything. Thank goodness for the watch-alongs when Arsenal play, more entertaining. Yeah, that is also the case. I am in Lee Gunners, Curtis Shaw's, many streams when I watch Arsenal games because I just cannot sit there and just watch around just football game and listen to the commentators spew the same nonsense. Yeah, I do have FPL. We're going to do a separate stream at some point when we talk about FPL and everything. We're going to do this. We're definitely going to do this. But yeah, people, as I said, my kid is not feeling well. I need to fly off. A short stream today, half an hour and everything, because obviously I need to take care of him just in case something goes wrong. Obviously, tomorrow we're going to have a proper stream because Arsenal play, and we're definitely going to discuss this. I'm going to be at home for the game, so I'm going to watch it, and I go straight live after the game. So we're definitely going to deep dive into that. But yeah, for today, I'm going to be signing off. Big up people for being here. Big up people for being for the short time. But obviously, family always comes first, and hopefully my kid feels better today and tomorrow as well. But for today, I am signing off. Have a great evening. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you all tomorrow. And hopefully, we see Gyökeres start, not coming off the bench. And we'll see what happens with Madueke because he has cut his holiday short and he's training with the squad apparently. So we'll see what's going to happen there. But for today, I am out. Peace.